after the cup lands, I want my handle to pull on this side. Just pull on one side and then go back, and then the coffee start to brew, right? So that's the handle. For the handle, I want to show you a technique to kind of like do a fake 3D. So for this one, it's actually built in Illustrator. So it's actually, we can convert it into a shape layer. We need to animate using a shape layer for this handle here. Let's right click and then go to create shapes from vector layer. Now we can access all the shapes inside this here, and then you can see it's creating an outline and it's hiding the original handle. In this case, we don't need the handle anymore, so we'll just delete that and then call this one the handle. Inside this handle, go to content. We have two groups. The first group will be just this circle here on the side, and then the second group is this bar on the right here. So we need to animate the path of these shapes so that we can create more of a fake 3D feeling. To do that, let's say the cup is landing. As the cup is landing, I want this bar to pull to the right. So let me drag my layer around this section here. I'm going to add a keyframe on both paths of these two, and then go for 20 frames. So for the 20 frames here, I want to move this one here. So as I move, I think it makes more sense if I just move this one all to here and then move this one here. So we're faking a 3D dimension. Basically, this one is going to move here to do like a fake 3D thing. You see that? Almost like it's turning in a 3D space, but it's actually a path animation. So as I see this, I feel like this end part is traveling too much. So I want to pull this one back a little bit more. Give it a 3D feeling. And then once we pull that, if we want to exaggerate the dimension a bit more, we can actually make this circle a bit bigger because it's going to get closer to the camera right now when it pulls. So it should become bigger. So in this case, I'll just click on this last keyframe, zoom in, click on this last keyframe, and then double click on this here. One, I can actually drag this one to be a perfect circle here, and then make it bigger. Maybe like even this big. Let's try like this. If I make it this big, I need to drag the other shape outside. I need to move this one out of the way first, and then drag this out a bit more, not selecting the circle, only selecting these two vertex points, and then connect these 2 points to here. That's good. Something like that. So now if I play the animation, okay, there's some issue here. There's some connection issue here. I need to make sure it's actually connected here. So this is the original position, and then this is the final position. It's pulling this way. It's becoming bigger. It's getting closer to the camera. And then there's a slight issue here with this handle. Maybe I want to drag this one here to make sure the turn is a bit more smooth here. Yeah, that looks better. So we have this handle pulled like this, right? That looks better. We're pulling in 3D dimension. It's pulling this side. It's getting bigger like this, and then it's going to go back. So 20 frames, copy the first two keyframes. It's going to go back. And now let me easy go to the graph editor. For the path property, we can only animate it inside the speed graph. So let's go to the speed graph. For this one, I just want it to hang over here when it rested. So it should be mostly flat on this side, and then a little bit easing on the left here, a bit more easing over here. So give it like around 20% of influence on left and right. And then in the center, when it reaches the middle position, it will hang there a little bit. So we have a curve like this. Something like that. I think that works. So that's a handle, almost like a fake 3D thing. So we have the handle here, and the handle should come in with the coffee machine, right? So I need to extend this layer, make sure we have this handle parented to the coffee machine. So it's when it's moving in, it's already parented. It's moving with the coffee machine. So let me parent this one to the coffee machine here. Now it should work better. So it's coming in and then it's pulling like that. And then after it's pulling, what will happen is normally the coffee machine would start to brew. And then when it starts to brew, it will actually shake a little bit. So how do we animate shaking? So for the shaking, we actually want to do, it's almost like the wiggle that we did in the other animation, but we're going to add an expression for the shaking. And in terms of shaking, we actually need to duplicate this coffee machine maybe around here. So essentially, we need one layer of the coffee machine to shake only for maybe like a couple seconds, and then the rest of the coffee machine would stay static. So in that case, I need to separate this, cut this coffee machine into two different layers. Let's go to the coffee machine and then let's do Command-Shift-D. So at this point, I'm not only duplicating this coffee machine, but also cutting it. So I'm cutting this point here. The coffee machine is not changing. The only thing that's changing is we're adding one more layer starting from this timeline. Going forward, we're going to control the coffee machine using another layer. So for the shaking, let's use an expression, and the expression is called wiggle. So my goal is to move this anchor point to the bottom so the coffee machine can shake based on this anchor point. So let me go inside here. Let me just try to move, because we already have the animation in this first part of the coffee machine layer. We're just making a duplicate of it. And then let's pull this anchor point to the bottom here. In this case, I can actually delete the X position. You see, after I move the anchor point, it's adding a keyframe on the X position. We can delete the X position because everything is controlled in the original layer here, this coffee machine layer. And this is going to be, let me rename this one. This one is going to be the shake. So coffee machine shaking. For the shake, I'll just go to rotation. I'll show you how to do an expression. Essentially, I just wanted to kind of rotate like this a little bit. So I'll add an expression. The way to add an expression is hold down Option and click on the stopwatch here. So now we can do some coding. The only coding we need is just one word called wiggle. And then for the wiggle expression, we have brackets. And the first one is going to be frequency. Let's say 1 wiggle per second. The second value is the amount it's going to wiggle. So basically 110 means that it's going to wiggle one time per second. And then each wiggle is going to go around 10 values back and forth. It's oscillating between, in this case, rotation is 10 degrees. It's going to oscillate between 0 to 10 degrees. So I think it's going to be too much, but let's see. So that's actually not working. We wanted to shake, so it's going to be more dramatic. We don't want 1 shake per second. It's going to be probably 10 shakes or like 20 shakes. Let's see 20 shakes. And then I want the value to be really down to like maybe 1. So we have 20 shakes per second, and then it's going to oscillate within 1 degree. Let's see that. That actually works better, right? So that's more like a shaking. It's going to be 20 shakes per second, and then oscillating within 1 degree value. And I think that works. So that's more dramatic. If we want to tone it down, maybe I can change it to 0.5. So oscillating between 0.5. Yeah, I think that might be better. I just want 20 shakes and then oscillating between 0.5 degree of value in rotation. So it's kind of like doing this. The problem we have is my coffee machine is shaking, but this handle is not shaking because remember the handle, we actually parented to the layer 7, which is a coffee machine when it comes in. So if we want this handle to shake, we actually need to parent this handle to this. However, sometimes in this case, it doesn't make sense now because if we parent the handle to this, it will not come in with this layer. So what we need to do is we actually need another copy of the handle here. So it's Command-Shift-D. Remember, Command-D is duplicating. So Command-D for duplicate, you're duplicating an exact layer, is having all the keyframes. However, if I hit Command-Shift-D, we are duplicating layers and we're splitting layers at this point. So that going forward from this timeline, I can use another same handle layer to control everything that goes forward. And then the previous timeline, we're controlling the handle using this layer. So this is more of an advanced concept. It's really important. It lets you to be more flexible with your elements. And sometimes you need the first part of the animation to do one thing. And then if you only have one layer to control that, it doesn't work going forward. So in that case, I need to duplicate the exact same layer and then split it from here so that going forward, I'm using a different layer to control this object. So that's a really important concept that you can do in After Effects. It's called splitting layers. Now we're splitting the handle, and going forward, I want this handle to be parented to the coffee shake. In the first part, this handle is parented to the coffee machine. It's coming in like that. And then for the second parts, after splitting, the handle is parented to the shake, so it's shaking with the coffee machine. That makes more sense. We'll let it shake for 1 second, like this. At 5 seconds, we'll have coffee pouring in.